They call it the world's largest democracy. We call it the world's most dangerous terror exporter. India sells itself as a land of peace, culture, and democracy. But look beneath the surface and you'll find a state that built militias, trained suicide bombers, assassinated opponents, and now export terrorism across continents. This is not a claim, this is not a narrative, this is a documented fact. And now let me walk you through it. The first suicide bomber in Asia wasn't from Al-Qaeda, ISIS or Daesh. She was from India's backyard. In July 1987, Asia's first suicide bombing was carried out by an LTTE operative. Her name was Thinmozi Rajaratnam. And this particular suicide bomber was trained and armed by India's intelligence agency RAW. India helped create the concept of suicide terrorism long before it became global, and now every terrorist organization in the world like TTP, which is another Indian proxy, ISIS, Daesh, they all replicate the Indian model of suicide bombing. India didn't just support terrorism, it militarized it. LTTE, India's proxy, conducted 376 suicide attacks, killed almost 100,000 people, and fielded a navy, an air force, and a ground command. A world first for any terrorist organization. Even India's ex-Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, in his interviews, acknowledged that India has been supporting the Tamil Tigers as a regional policy. And the irony is that LTTE is the only terrorist organization in the world that has killed two sitting heads of state. And one of them was the same Rajiv Gandhi, and the other one is Sri Lankan President Premadasa. The first proxy militia in post-colonial Asia, again, made in India. In 1971, Mukti Bani, a 100,000 strong insurgent force, was trained and deployed by India to break Pakistan. India creates terrorists and terrorist organizations. This is their speciality. India supported the Balochistan Liberation Army. The first ever attack on the Chinese diplomats in Pakistan was carried out by RAW through Balochistan Liberation Army in 2018. Indian currency and weapons were then recovered from their safe houses, which clearly shows that it was RAW all along. Indian intelligence agency is the only intelligence agency in the world that has attacked a school and in a single day slaughtered more than 200 children. This time they did it through Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which is now known as Fitna al-Khawarij, and India's National Security Advisor Ajit Kumar Doval is on record acknowledging that they have been supporting TTP. They have been training their militants. After the APS attack of 2014, dossiers were presented at the United Nations, which included Indian arms, currency, and coordination evidence. India sent a serving military officer to run a terror network, and he got caught. In 2016, Pakistan captured Commander Kulbhushan Yadav, a serving Indian Navy officer in Balochistan. And he's on record. He confessed to coordinate terror cells, fund bombings, and organize sabotage through BLA and Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. He was not just a spy. He was the highest ranking serving military officer ever caught for terrorism in world history. And he was an Indian. India doesn't just fire bullets. It fires headlines, fake news, psychological operation. In 2020, European Union Disinformation Lab exposed 265 fake media outlets, 10 fake NGOs, and an Indian psychological warfare operation targeting Pakistan and China. It is the largest disinformation terror campaign ever exposed in the digital media. From Sri Lanka to Canada, India's terror footprint is everywhere. The first NATO country to accuse India of political murder was Canada. In 2023, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau publicly accused India of assassinating a Canadian citizen, Hardeep Singh Nijjar, outside a Gurdwara in British Columbia. India ran the first assassination plot against a US citizen on US soil. The US State Department and the Department of Justice charged Nikhil Gupta, a raw asset, for plotting to kill Gurwant Singh Pannu, an American citizen in New York. This Nikhil, he acted under direct orders of a senior Indian intelligence officer. India's democracy, this largest democracy in the world, comes with a kill list. Raw-linked hit lists targeting Sikh leaders were exposed in Canada, the UK and the USA. Dozens of names, multiple countries, one source, India. One of those names was Avtar Singh Khanda, who in 2023 died mysteriously in Birmingham, UK, just weeks after leading a protest at the Indian High Commission. And you can look at this Guardian article in front of your screens, where his family says that he was poisoned by Raw. Australia wasn't safe either. Indian operatives reportedly threatened Khalistani activists in Australia. Intelligence services acknowledged surveillance, harassment, and coercive tactics. India is the only democracy ever sidelined from the Five Eyes Alliance for cross-border terrorism. In 2024, Five Eyes members, United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, scaled back intelligence sharing with India over its transnational assassination program. As I said at the start of this video, this is not a narrative. This is a case file. India is the only country in the history to train Asia's first suicide bomber, to build the largest terrorist organizations in the world, to send a serving naval officer to run a global terror network, to assassinate citizens in NATO countries, and to publicly be exposed by both the United Nations and the FBI for state terrorism. India is not a state, it's a serpent with tentacles inside every continent, where it runs sabotage, psyops, and assassinations. And this is exactly why we are launching a new series exposing India's transnational terror machine. From Asia to North America, from digital psyops to diplomatic assassinations, we will document, expose, and explain India's use of terrorism as a tool of state policy, as a tool of foreign policy. Every week, we will bring you a new chapter from the raw files. So subscribe, stay alert, because the world needs to know what India has truly become.